For those who have been following this channel, I have always insisted that we are being ruled and governed from the United States of America. William Ruto is just but taking orders and instructions. And the one person who has always supervised William Samoei Ruto to ensure that he dances to the tune of the Western machination is none other Ambassador Meg Whitman. I have always lamented about this lady. Meg Whitman ensured that she was part and parcel of everything that was going on in Kenya. And perhaps one thing that is remembered is how Meg Whitman interfered with our 2022 elections. She was in Bomas when tallying and verification was taking place, something that has never been seen before. Our ambassadors always wait to be invited on the day when declaration of results is happening. They have always been part and parcel of the malpractice. But for Meg Whitman, this was too much. And then she had the guts to tell us on our face that the 2022 election was the freest in the history of Africa. At a time when Azimio fraternity went to the streets and they were being killed because they wanted IEBC to open their server to see the real results. And people still remember her for those very pronunciations that attracted the wrath of Raila when Raila told her that they will call for her recall.
Kenya held what many analysts and commentators say was the freest, fairest, and most credible election in Kenyan history. The elections were observed by international and local election organizations, and the results were upheld by the Kenyan Supreme Court, and power was transferred orderly and peacefully at the time. Kenya is the gateway to the East African market of almost 500 million consumers.
What is wrong is police brutality. And finally, I want to tell a rogue ambassador, leave Kenyans alone. If Mandamano can lead to a dialogue between Ichungwa and Kalonzo, everything is good with Mandamano. Tell the rogue ambassador, Kenya is not United States. Kenya is not a colony of the United States. Keep your mouth shut when you hear. Otherwise, we will call for your recall back to your country. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Now, when USA conducted their election to elect their 47th president, Africa was waiting with bated breath just as the whole world was waiting. The contest between the Republicans and the Democrats. William Ruto for sure really was praying that Kamala Harris wins that election because he had some very close ties with Joe Biden. As fate would have it, Donald Trump won by majority. And that result, when Donald Trump was declared the 47th president-elect of the United States, was going to change the life and times of William Samoei Ruto. Now, today Meg Whitman has announced her resignation to the chagrin of William Ruto and the UDA government. But other Kenyans are happy and they stormed the streets in jubilation. If you read Twitter and everything, I want us to go through just maybe the first paragraph or the first two paragraphs in this letter that Meg Whitman penned. Meg Whitman is saying, statement by U.S. Ambassador to Kenya, Meg Whitman, November 13th. Today, I announced to my team at the U.S. Embassy that I submitted my resignation to President Biden. It has been an honor and privilege to serve the American people through strengthening our partnership with Kenya. I am proud of leading a people-centered agenda that serves lives, increases security, and creates economic opportunities for Kenyans and Americans. From delivering emergency funding to alleviate catastrophic flooding in 2003, to the ongoing fight against malaria, HIV, and mpox. The US government prioritizes the health and welfare of our friends in Kenya. This year, the United States elevated Kenya as its first major non-NATO ally in sub-Saharan Africa, reflecting the importance our countries place on standing shoulder to shoulder to protect our shared democratic values and enhance security. My efforts also opened door to more American companies to do business in Kenya. I don't even want to read the whole of it, ladies and gentlemen, but it is jubilation because Meg Whitman has been the face of dictatorship. She's been the conduit between William Ruto and the USA, ensuring and supervising and ensuring that William Ruto toes the line. For William Ruto, it is going to be very sad for him because Donald Trump is now going to assign another Republican who will come to Kenya. Someone was telling us that all these ambassadors are the same. Donald Trump is a businessman. He will also be looking at the American interest, so people should not have high hopes. But one thing that we can take to the bank is that the kind of puppet relationship that we had between William Ruto and Joe Biden will cease. I know the new ambassador will come and he or she will entrench the policies of America. They will be looking at the security, businesses, contracts, and all that in the area. But this kind of puppetry where whenever Joe Biden wanted something against opposition of Kenyans, against court cases, William Ruto would do it. Things like non-NATO members were things that were being given to William Ruto, to make us feel that we were part and parcel of the international community. He even went there and was given a moment to feel the pleasure of that very coveted seat in White House. William Ruto was given an opportunity one day to address the European Parliament. Remember that it was a Republican speaker who denied William Ruto a chance to address both houses, the Senate and the upper house in the USA, telling you that things are not going to be the same. Meg Whitman has been the face of LGBTQ in our country, funding NGOs to promote a culture that is not very common in Kenya. And with that, we've seen the rise in lesbianism and gay in Kenya for the period that Meg Whitman was in the country. It was during her tenure that William Ruto instructed the Supreme Court, headed by Madam Martha Koome, to allow the LGBTQ community to have their freedom of association. And so as she moves out, even the church will be very happy. Meg Whitman, many feel, has been trading. Recently, she met the IEBC Secretariat, Hussein Marjan, urging William Ruto to appoint new IEBC commissioners. Well, she was part and parcel of the reason why we have two commissioners who are in exile because of her efforts to hand over power to William Ruto. We know for a fact that when the Azimio fraternity went to the streets, they were killed. When the Gen Zs went to the streets, they were killed, maimed, butchered, tortured, and kidnapped. Meg Whitman never uttered any word. And with that, people have really hated Meg Whitman to the core. And so as she leaves, people are very happy. What does it portend to William Samoei Ruto? As I have said before, William Ruto has to look for new ways of endearing himself to the new president, Donald Trump, president-elect, and even to endear himself to the expected incoming new ambassador to Kenya. It might not be the same. He does not know the character that will be assigned to Kenya. It could be a character who does not entertain nonsense. And William Ruto is really worried. The 2027 election could be in limbo because William Ruto has the security, has got everything, but he's not sure of the American support. He's not sure that he will have an ambassador who will be in Bomas during telling and verification. He's not sure that whether he will get someone who will tell Kenyans that this was the freest, that will be part and parcel of the election malpractice. William Ruto is not very sure whether the person who will be brought to replace Meg Whitman is a person who will be talking against atrocities meted on people, police brutality. And so William Ruto, wherever he is a very, very worried man. For Kenyans, we are very happy. At least we need to start afresh. And the person who is coming, I know, already knew or has been studying the relationship between Meg Whitman and William Ruto, Meg Whitman and the people of Kenya. It's going to be a fresh start. During the Gen Z protests, they said they were going to visit Meg Whitman, they were going to visit American Embassy, they were going to visit the IMF. There has been a break. And Kenyans feel this is reprieve. We wait and see what is going to happen. But when Donald Trump was elected, that result has really affected very many presidents in different ways. While William Ruto is very unhappy, Museveni is very happy. Because when Museveni signed the anti-gay law, the Western powers, Joe Biden, IMF, decided even to sanction Uganda. They stopped AIDS just because Museveni did that. As Kenyans, we feel it is God who has reigned. We wait and see what is going to happen, but William Ruto is a very unhappy man, sad, stranded, does not know what to do. For Meg Whitman, you are the worst ambassador that we ever had, meddling in our own affairs. We've seen ambassadors who do it, but indirectly. This was an indirect insult to the sovereignty of our nation. Who do we blame? The people who have got the instruments of power that allowed them to do this. For Kenyans, freedom is not here yet. We have to fight for it.